Hello, my name is Parag Bharadwaj and I am the founder of Palliative Care Network. I welcome you to the International Palliative Care Network Conference 2014 being held under the auspices of European Association of Palliative Care. Since its inception 7 years ago, Palliative Care Network has been involved in developing unique initiatives to provide free education to the global palliative care community. Take advantage of this opportunity to view the invited lectures submitted by world-class experts in the field. I extend my personal thanks to all who have been part of Palliative Care Network's journey. Countless volunteer hours have gone into the initiative over the years to contribute to its success. I also extend my gratitude to all the organizations from around the world that have supported Palliative Care Network by promoting it and sponsoring the awards. As we move forward, Palliative Care Network is entering a new era. Please stay tuned for exciting news in the near future. It is my great privilege to introduce our keynote speaker for this year's conference, His Holiness Sri Sri Ravi Shankar. He is a spiritual leader and global humanitarian promoting peace and harmony worldwide. He is the founder of the Art of Living, which operates in more than 150 countries and impacts millions of lives. I encourage you to visit the Art of Living website to learn more about their works. I had the privilege of meeting His Holiness to discuss his thoughts on suffering at the end of life. Your Holiness, how can meditation help relieve suffering at the end of life, both for the patients and the caregivers, meaning the families of people who provide them care and support?
Today there is a lot of research work, there is a lot of evidence how people have been helped by meditation. One thing is it enables someone to endure the pain. It increases the power to endure the pain. Second, pain happens when when someone is conscious. Someone is sleeping, then they don't experience pain. Pain is not just in the body, it's in the mind. Meditation deals with the mind and its impact is on the body. So something so powerful like breathing and meditation has impact on both body and mind. And this is the reason that many people are finding it very useful, either in mental trauma or physical suffering.
Now, in palliative care, we often talk about pain being multidimensional, and one key component of pain and suffering is the spiritual component. Could you elaborate on what your thoughts are?
Pain is an intense sensation. Any intense sensation on the physical level causes a pain, and on the emotional level, it is a contraction of consciousness. So pain is always associated with a sense of contraction because the consciousness, the mind shrinks and you feel the pain, both physically and mentally. And spirituality is something which uplifts the spirit and enables you to have an expanded awareness. So when the consciousness expands, when the mind expands, there is an instant relaxation in the body and a sense of upliftment in the mind. You would see all those emotions which people don't like to have are those emotions where mind starts contracting. There is a contraction. And so one feels suffocated, frustrated. All these emotions are caused when the consciousness shrinks, when the awareness shrinks. Meditation is a phenomenon where the awareness expands or the consciousness expands. Now, is it possible to disassociate the physical activity in the body and the sensation and the expansion of mind? I would say yes. That brings freedom. Even you are hurt in somewhere in the physical level and there is a intense sensation, but you can keep your mind expanded so that intense sensation which would have otherwise caused you an anguish Pain, both physically and mentally, now eases its way out. So your ability to endure pain increases, number one. Second, most people suffer because of emotional and psychological pain, suffering. Because the mind puts a defense always. When the mind does not know how it is free and it is bigger, it has that expansion, it starts shrinking with stimulus. You don't like somebody and you see them, suddenly something happens. What happens? Your mind starts shrinking. Now, with spirituality, what does it? It takes you a step beyond, makes you understand that consciousness is much different, is higher, and is free from the incident of events that happens around. So you are able to keep that expanded awareness in spite of all that unpleasant thing that happens all around. This is the gift of spirituality in managing relationships, in managing physical pain, in managing any emotional trauma due to earthquake or any big tsunami, any big suffering that happens. Because the impressions in the mind plays a vital role in emotional pain. And because of these impressions, one keeps projecting it outside in their life, in the events. Someone who is emotionally hurt, that person will see everyone as their enemy. Even a friend who would come in front of them, they will put a defense and see that person is come to get me. This sort of mindset comes because of the scars in the consciousness, in the mind. So spirituality helps you to uplift, to lift those scars and experience what we in India we call Sachidanand, the true consciousness and the bliss nature of oneself.
Your Holiness, from a spiritual perspective, then, what approach do you suggest for clinicians who are caring for patients who are dying and help them address the suffering of their patients in their last days?
In our ancient Upanishad, there is a whole process. It says, dissolve all that in the nature. Just have the feeling. See, the body is dissolving into the earth. The water in the body is getting one with the water element in the atmosphere. So our body is made up of 5 elements. See the 5 elements in the individual body connected to the 5 elements in the universe. So when you feel the connection, you don't feel that you are going to be annihilated. You feel that there is an eternity, there is something that exists all along. See, every particle of your body is going to exist forever here. Once you know that, the fear about losing it will simply disappear from your mind. When you no longer afraid, the only fear in human being, the fear of death. Fear of death happens in many layers. One is the reputation. When the reputation goes down, that's also equivalent to death. And there is a fear of not being loved, not being cared for, not being taken care. All this finally points to one fear, that is fear of not existing any longer, which is not true. Because everything in us are going to exist in the creation. So people who are on the verge of crossing over will have to see the separation between the body and the mind. And see me, my body, me, my pain, me, my environment. And keep dissolving mentally these parts of the body, the aspects of life into the nature.
Thank you.
So in one of the scriptures from Yoga Vasishta, it's beautifully said, so you dissolve your mind into this, you dissolve your head into this. And they've beautifully described how you can, when you have to depart from the world, dissolve each part, feel that this is all dissolved in the bigger elements of creation. So you are existing in a bigger fashion, in a bigger manner, rather than having the fear of not existing at all.
And so how can the doctors and the medical team help the patients in that transition?
Meditation. Doctors should do meditation, and not just enough to,
So apart,
and it just takes few minutes of breathing technique for doctors, and sit quietly and meditate. A number of different techniques to meditate will be very useful.
so apart from the physicians and the patients, how about the people who care for them, and especially after patients pass away? You know, the family members and the loved ones have a difficult time coping with their loss. Would you say
Yeah,
meditation?
we should let them express their emotions. When someone very close to you have passed, you should not tell them, "Oh, don't cry," and just or pity them. People do two things. Either they pity, "Oh, this is so wrong. It shouldn't have happened this to you. God has been so unkind to you." This sort of uh, pushing them to self-pity is one thing. Another thing is asking them not to express, like suppressing their emotion. Both are not healthy. What's good is to allow them to express their grief for a short period of time, and then ask them to snap out of it, because that can become a habit. You get into a melancholic mood, and then you start attracting attention through that. Then you get into a psychological disorder through that. What do you call it? And so you start enjoying that sad mood subtly, in a very subconscious manner. So I would rather say that let them cry, let them express their grief. The ancient people knew this, they knew this psychology. So in the Indian tradition, 10 days you are allowed to mourn. On the 11th day, you have to celebrate. You have to buy new clothes, gifts, and sweets, like any wedding celebration. So people are asked to celebrate on the 11th day. The 10 days of mourning is allowed for people to. Those 10 days, you are free from all social obligations, religious obligations, social obligations. I think it's a very healthy attitude to allow mind to express the grief. And very interestingly, a similar practice is when a child is born too. When a baby is born in your home, for 10 days they say, you are free from all other obligations. You can fully be in the joy of the birth of a baby. So, I think our ancient people knew a lot about our mind than our current generation.
So could you elaborate on how palliative care can benefit from a practice such as meditation? The bigger picture. How the field like palliative care, when they are involved in taking care of patients who have severe illnesses, how can the patients, their families, and the providers who provide the care benefit from incorporating a practice such as meditation?
They should try it out, and they'll see for themselves how it's beneficial. There are hundreds and thousands of people who have been benefited and who have snapped out of this intense pain and grief of loss of a beloved one in their life. So it definitely helps, definitely helps. And from a physiological angle also, you would see it gives much needed relaxation to the body. It helps people who have sleep deprivation due to unfortunate situations. So there is multiple benefits, I would say, multiple benefits.
So we believe death is part of living. How can we live life to the fullest in your opinion?
We need to, like science is essential in one's life. Science is what is this, what this world is all about. Without this knowledge, life is incomplete. Similarly, there is a subjective knowledge. Who am I? What's my body? What is the relation between body and breath? And what is this breathing? What is mind? Again, body, mind, and breath are linked. And what is this mind? What is my intellect? Where the questions are arising? How am I perceiving everything? So, the act of perception, the act of expression which we are doing from the day we are born, we are not even aware of it. So, an understanding about the subject of who am I, this is what is spirituality is all about. To know who am I, what am I comprised of. So, this knowledge is also essential. That will make life much richer.
Your Holiness, thank you for your enlightening thoughts. We would welcome any final comments for our viewers.
Keep smiling and keep serving. I know it's difficult to smile when people are suffering, but if you also start crying, who would console the people? So you don't need to express your smile, but your heart should have that contentment. With contentment in our heart and with commitment in our action, with sincerity in our intention, we will all be able to create a better environment, better society. And I wish you all the best.
Thank you very much.